Hi everyone, this is Jiggie, a portrait and wedding photographer from the Philippines, and welcome to the channel. So today is a very special video. I am doing an initial review of the fantastic Sony A7R Mark V. Well, actually, I'm giving it away already. I'm so in love with the camera, and here are the reasons why. Well, you can see right behind me, they're setting up for a wedding. So I will be using the Sony A7R Mark V to shoot an actual wedding, and I will show you some of the output pictures after this video. Unfortunately, I still cannot read the raw files, but I will show you the straight out of the camera images coming from this amazing camera. So why do I love it so much? Let me show you. Number one, this has been my workhorse camera for the longest time. This is the Sony A7R Mark IV. I love it because focusing is very good already, resolution fantastic, no complaints whatsoever with this camera. 60 megapixels, 61 megapixels, fantastic because I can crop in, I can do so many things with regards to the file size of this one, plus the color rendition I really do love. Now, Sony came out with this one, which has slowly been creeping in my A7R time, my A7R Mark IV time. This is the Sony A7 IV. The reason why I love the Sony A7 IV is because they came out with a new focusing system with this one, and it just focuses really fast. And it just focuses really fast, and it's got this one articulating screen. However, shooting with the Sony A7R Mark IV, I loved using this one too, because when I'm shooting like this one, horizontal, it's better for me to have the screen this way instead of having the screen out here, because my horizontals aren't really as straight compared to having it right in front of me, and it just throws me off because it's not at center axis whenever I'm shooting. So I have to look here, and yet my camera is a bit off to the side. And when I put it in my holster with the screen out like this, the problem is sometimes I would bump into people, and I'm always afraid that I would destroy the screen. So that's one thing that I'm so in love with this one. This is the brand new Sony A7R Mark V. Aside from the fact that, number one, it's got even better focusing, which I will discuss later, here is what the clincher was for me. You could articulate the screen the same way I would articulate my Sony A7R Mark IV, and at the same time, it also does this, like the A7 Mark IV. So when I'm shooting verticals, it's perfect. When I'm shooting horizontals, it's perfect. That in itself is worth the upgrade already from the R4 to the R5. But aside from that, the Sony A7R Mark V has a new focusing system, not really based anymore on face detect, because all these cameras from Sony, the previous cameras, are already fantastic when it comes to focusing. The new focusing system of this one, the Sony A7R Mark V, is dependent on AI. In other words, what happens is that the camera will detect the face of the subject, and the moment that the face is detected, it goes straight to the eye, which is nothing new. However, even if the subject turns around, the camera knows that you are shooting that subject, and it will just never lose focus. You can't see the eye, it's going to go on the face. And coupled with this one, the Sony 24-70 2.8 GM, it's so easy for me to be shooting with one hand. When was the last time? I'm not a particularly big guy, so this old 24-70 was really heavy for me. But the version 2, which is so light, and with these new screens, it's so easy for me to just shoot with one hand. And knowing that the camera will just focus on the eye or focus on the subject, especially if I turn on tracking. So let's say I am shooting the bride, I will just press this one, it will track the bride wherever the bride is in the frame. It's just gonna focus on that one. Beautiful, amazing focus. Now, I love the Sony A7 Mark IV also because of what I'm doing now. I'm a photographer, content creator. So this one was the best hybrid camera there was. However, this one I consider to be the best hybrid camera on steroids. Anything that this camera can do, this one will do better. This one records 8K internally. Of course, the video features, it's not something that I'm technically versed in. However, what I know is, for my content creation, I am shooting in 8K. I can easily crop in 4 times, correct? There, Aldrin's nodding. I can crop in 4 times, which makes my composition better now, or I can even go panning. So if I'm shooting a wide shot, I can crop in at 4K to one particular area, and in post-production, I can make it pan. So I don't need to really do all those creative shots for my B-roll, especially for content creation. So what else is in this particular camera that I'm so in love with? The thing that the Sony A7 IV had that the Sony A7R Mark IV didn't have was this magic switch from photo and video. So what else am I supposed to look for in a camera? Nothing. Well, maybe the money to buy this particular camera, and that's why I love the Sony A7R Mark V. Oh, and one last thing. If you guys get a chance to get hold of this camera, put your eye on the viewfinder. It just blew me away. It's so big, it's so bright, it's so beautiful. So when I'm shooting, especially later, I'm going to be shooting in very bright scenes. If I don't want to use the back of the camera, just put my eye on the viewfinder, or maybe just compose it this way, put it on sunny weather, and use the viewfinder to check if my composition was correct and if my light was correct. Okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions with regards to this camera, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe, and while you're at it, click that notification bell. Okay, thank you very much, Aldrin, again for taking the video. And guys, till the next video.